Hi everyone, we are now live. This is Daphne. Happy day to you, and thank you for tuning in. And thank you for tuning in. Yeah, so welcome to the third series of Malaysian Olympism in Action online series. Today we will have a very special guest. She's a Malaysian, but she's currently residing in Copenhagen, Denmark. So we'll be starting in 2 minutes, and just while waiting for this, we are waiting for all the viewers to come in. We will just let us know where you are from, drop a simple hello on where you are from, if you are from around the world. And for our local participants, welcome. Yes. So let's just make this session a very engaging session. Let's just make this session as engaging as we can. So if you have any questions, just drop it down below. If you're a big fan of our special guest, Tanya, just post it below. If you have any thoughts, if you just want to send regards, if you want to send us some love, just drop in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Awesome. So we will start in a while. So we are all very excited to hear what Tanya has got for us. Her story will be very meaningful, very impactful. So if you have any friends who you think that this will be very beneficial for them, please invite them. Please host a party. The more, the better. The merrier, the better. Yes. All right, nice. So for those who have just joined us, welcome again. Welcome to the third session of Malaysian Olympism in Action online series. And today our focus topic is on volunteerism. And so just to share a little bit about our committee in Malaysian Olympism in Action Committee. So we are basically consist of a group of former moderators of NOA, National Olympic Academy, former athletes, coaches, sports managers, sports administrators. But we all share one common goal, which is to instill and to inculcate the three core values of Olympism, which is respect, excellence, and friendship to the society. So I'm a former national badminton player as well, and I have been practicing this, and during our camps, I've been sharing about the values of Olympism, even the spirit of it. So I think it is really important to make it the way of life. Today, we are very pleased to hang out with us as our special guest. She was a former national badminton player. In fact, she was my super senior. So I'm not sure how you define super senior. She might be really older than me by a lot of years. I don't know. You judge that. You can answer, put it in the comments below. She was an excellent student athlete which excels in both academic and sports during her bachelor's career degree in University of Malaya. And she holds her master's degree in advanced studies in sports administration technology from International Academy of Sports Science and Technology, Lausanne, Switzerland. And currently, she is the development and high performance manager at Badminton Europe. But above all her fantastic achievements, she had one extraordinary opportunity, which was she was selected as the volunteer in the largest sporting event in the world, the Beijing 2008 Olympics. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, our dearest Facebook live friends, please give your loudest cyber applaud or even comments applaud below to our one and only Tanya Teo. Hi, Tanya.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Daphne.
So good to see you.
Likewise. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, for your time, and for those viewing from Malaysia. Selamat petang dan salam sejahtera. Saya harap anda semua sehat walafiat di samping rakan-rakan dan keluarga sekalian.
Yeah, so Tanya, how are you? And thank you so much for making time to join us today, despite the time differences and your family commitment. So really, we are very thankful that you are willing to come on board to share your story on volunteerism, which is very important. And so how are you coping with COVID-19 in Copenhagen?
We are coping really well, actually. Denmark has been in lockdown the last 1 month, and the government is slowly reopening. Schools are starting, and no more homeschooling, luckily. But we have two girls, they are 9 and 6. So they are actually also adapting really well to the situation, and we are all in high spirits. And really nice to know that my family in Malaysia, Singapore, and New Zealand, they are all doing well and healthy. But I really need to thank COVID-19 in a way that because of COVID-19 that we have this chance to chit chat, because otherwise I would be physically in Malaysia now, Kuala Lumpur to be exact, because
Ah.
my brother is gonna get married tomorrow. But
Oh,
yeah,
congratulations. Yeah.
but unfortunately we could not be in KL. But makes me closer to all of you by having this session. Thank you.
Yes, yes, technology makes all of us closer. So we are quite thankful for it. And Tanya, honestly, I've heard about your volunteering in Olympic Games. Actually, how did you started volunteering?
I started volunteering actually right after the NOA session that you mentioned earlier. It's a session where 3 or 4 days programs are open to both local and international participants. We learn about the sports leadership, volunteerism, sportsmanship, everything to do about the sports. And the part of volunteerism really stick in my head because being an elite player before, all those years I was quite self-centered. Things
Yes.
evolve around me. I want to be the best badminton player. I want to train at this time. I want to sleep at this time. I don't really get to hang out with my friends. You can say that I'm disciplined, but you can also say that I'm selfish.
Yeah, I'm
But
pretty sure you are disciplined. Yeah.
mhm. And of course, definitely you were also an ex-national player. You know how it is that when we were players, we just come to the court and compete and then finish and warm down and rest. But
Yeah.
after I resigned from the national team and after participating in this session, I told myself that Tanya, I think it's time you give back to the sports community. So from there, I reached out to the core team of the NOA and asked that is there any opportunity I may be of help. I was a student that time. I had the time, and I would really like to contribute.
That's so sweet of you, Tanya. It's so sweet, and the importance of we had the opportunity to grow with sports, and we see the importance of values of sports, and it's really sweet of you to thought of giving back to the society, and so that we can inspire people with especially the spirit of Olympism. That's really really nice of you. And actually, what motivates you to participate in volunteering?
I like to give back, like I mentioned. I like the closeness of the people around the event. But then being selected for the Beijing Olympics, it was actually um, a lack of strike of luck from my course mate, Guan Yan. So
Mhm.
this application process to be selected is was organized by the Malaysian Chinese Association.
Right.
So she mentioned to me, Tanya, hey, I know you have always want to be close to the Olympics. My dream was to represent the country, but because of a lot of injuries and my level was not there, so that dream was scattered. So she told me, let's apply. But at that point of time, I told her that I'm only good in speaking Chinese. I can't read enough or write enough to be in Beijing, to be a volunteer in Beijing where they speak pure Chinese, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. There's a
Mhm.
there's different tone of
Yeah.
yeah.
But then she was very persistent. Thank her for that. She said, Tanya, come apply. I will help you and we will do it together. And it was really good to know that both of us were shortlisted for the exam. We have to go through a written exam. And after that, we have to also go through an interview process. And after that, there was a selection panel where they informed 10 of us were selected. We were,
Wow.
of course, over the moon. But
Only 10.
yeah, but we are not sure that we are going because we still need to show our commitment. We took part in their community services. We took part in the events that the MCA organized.
Right.
Because if we do not show commitment, they might bring the first on the waiting list up and replace us. So it was very competitive.
Yeah. I guess the process is actually they have to judge you not just in terms of speaking or responsibility, but also in terms of your soft skills and how you can connect with people. And also, but one thing, Tanya, you are just amazing. I have to say, like, it's like hundreds of thousands of people actually applied to be volunteers in this biggest event. It's like as an athlete, we fantasize to participate in Olympics, right? And then later on, as we age, then we realize that we have to be a bit more realistic, and then maybe perhaps we have a thought that being a spectator probably um is already also quite a good experience. But yourself, being a volunteer is like totally opposite from being an athlete, so it's like from my understanding, I'm not sure if it's right, but you correct me if I'm wrong, that by volunteering, you actually have to like pay for your own air tickets and accommodation. And in other meaning, it's like you are offering your time and effort without expecting anything in return. So
You're totally right, Bethany. The trip to Beijing was self-funded. When I found out that I was selected, I started to save up,
mm,
and we did some calculation. How many weeks am I going to stay there? What about the air tickets? It so happened that it's not just saying yes, I will go, and of course, it actually clashes with my graduation date. When I shared the information with my parents, they were both happy and not exactly fully supportive of that idea because I'm gonna miss my graduation ceremony in University of Malaya, 4 years in the university. So as parents, I bet they would prefer to see their daughter up on stage. But then,
yeah.
being the rebellious me, I was maybe I'm still a rebellious child out of three of us. I was able to convince them and let them know that it would be so much more valuable for me to be in Beijing than attending the convocation. So I've made a decision that I would give the graduation ceremony a pass. And of course, we tried to see if I can attend the ceremony and fly to Beijing. But like you know, we were 10 of us. Everything was planned as a group. We went there to represent Malaysia. So yeah, that was not the solution. It's either the graduation or Beijing.
Yeah, from your pictures itself, I can really feel the warmness and the closeness that you are giving your heart in volunteering, and also for going your convocation is really really a big thing. I remember, like, if 10 years back when you are just a student, convocation is like the biggest thing, after 4 years together with all your uni friends, all the memories that you all built together. And then like convo is like the pictures that you're going to have it, and next time you can show your kids, and you actually decide to go to the biggest game in the world as a volunteer. So how was it? Is that what you expected? Are the responsibilities tough, and is it very pressuring
I
when
would
you were there?
say that it was more challenging both physically and mentally than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
We had to be there 1 week before the games start, and
Okay.
then we had to go through training in Chinese, and it was really challenging because they were writing in Chinese, and luckily I have a few friends who are really helpful and translated. And I was assigned to Wukesong Stadium, the stadium where there were both basketball and baseball next to each other. And I was chosen to be in the baseball stadium, open air,
Oh.
instead of basketball stadium where it's air conditioned. That is where the physical part kick in. Mm, Under the spectator service and ticketing area, we had to stand under the sun and also guide the spectators where the seat and where the washroom is. But it was physically challenging. But then when I'm lucky, I will be at the spectators area on lucky days. On less lucky days, I would have to stand next to a washroom. So I
Huh.
don't get to see a baseball match. I'll stand there and guide the spectators. I have to be honest with you, definitely. There were some days I was thinking about it like, what are you even doing here, Tanya? So, because it doesn't help when I think some of my friends were in the basketball stadium, air conditioned, watching basketball in due respect. But yeah, but then I thought back to the sessions that we had in National Olympic Academy. One of the moderators mentioned that as volunteers, you are there to give but not to demand.
Very
So
true.
yeah, so I just reminded myself, Tanya, this is what you chose. You're there to give, not to demand. So I continue my responsibility and became a proud and responsible volunteer representing Malaysia.
You truly made us proud, Tanya.
Mhm.
You know, I always know that the pride of representing Malaysia and telling people about our country is something that I'm always very, very proud of. Yeah. Right? So Tanya, I just want to ask you a question, right? Like as a volunteer, every morning you have to prepare yourself with a smile, and right? When you're on duty, no matter how tired you are, you have to still be at your best, smiling to any spectators
Mhm.
or athletes, right?
Yes. Yes, we have to be at our best, like you said. We are also assigned to areas where we have limited access to move around. There are a few
Interesting.
criteria, yeah, and then we can only be volunteer, meaning that we are not allowed to bring our phones, we are not allowed to take photos, and if we interact with spectators, there is also some limit to it. So there are a
Right.
few criteria, yeah.
That you have to follow.
Mm.
And interesting. Tanya, we have a question from Dr. Gary. Yeah, so he actually asked, can you share some mental preparation in volunteerism and community involvement?
Thanks,
So
Dr. Gary, for the question. Yeah, mental preparation is actually very important. I'll share what I've done before going to Beijing, even though even though I speak Chinese and it's not so far away from Malaysia. What I did was I tried to read up more about Beijing and more about the Olympic organizing committee. And we also reach out to our future team leader. So preparation is key. In terms of mental, I was telling myself that expect the least expected, yeah, worst case scenario. So that's how I pep talk with myself. And when it's raining and when it's sun, just say, Tanya, this is just a process. It will pass. The rain will not rain for 2 weeks. Yeah.
good that you actually practice a lot of self-talks. You know, I think being an athlete actually help us to get through this and get over crises or even things that like circumstance that we never expect, because we were actually taught to practice self-talk, visualization as an athlete. Yeah, so interesting that how you actually just took up this opportunity and go ahead for it. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, I should say. So would you recommend this experience volunteering in these Olympic Games?
I would say that being in the Beijing Olympic Games, it was some sort of like a consolation prize for me. I can't qualify as an athlete, so I need to find a different way. So being a volunteer, of course, I definitely encourage everyone who has the time and energy for it. It's not only volunteering in sports events. It can be some organization that's close to your heart. It can be your local animal shelter or orphanage. It doesn't necessarily need to be sports, but because I grew up from a sports background, so I see myself more related to the sports community and volunteering in the sports community. But really, give it a try because volunteerism and sports, especially badminton, has given me a lot. It has taught me to be more grateful. It has taught me to give back. And of course, the friendship that I've gained 12 years ago, some of them I'm still keeping in touch with. Gina, Faye, and to name a few. So that's something that is with me for life.
Yes, I understand, Tanya. Tanya, we have a question from Faven. She said, what would you say would be your toughest time to overcome during your time in Beijing, and how did you overcome it?
So I just mentioned about Faye. Hi, Faye. She's now in Scotland, but based in Switzerland. She's actually also one of our volunteers who was chosen to join us in Beijing. The toughest time to overcome, I think the toughest time was when you were standing there, you have no deadline, you have no finishing time of the match, and it's sunny, or even when it's raining. So you have to be very independent. And then also when spectators sometimes they do ask questions that you're not trained to answer. So those are the toughest times. And how did I overcome? I just have to play by the ear and try to be as friendly as helpful as possible. So I hope that answer your question, Faye, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, so that's the toughest. And what about what's your most exciting moment throughout the whole? Is it like seeing your favorite idol or supporting Malaysian team? I remember that year was the year Dato' Lee Chong Wei brought back the silver medal.
Yes, talking about that incident, I was actually lucky that I did not have any duty on the day itself, on the finals. So I took the public transport across the city. It took me 1 hour, and
Oh,
with the wish to watch Dato' Lee Chong Wei play against Lindan. But that attempt was not successful because I've not prepared enough and I've not applied for a day pass well in advance. So during the Olympics, the places you can go and cannot go, there are very limited places according to the numbers or the alphabets in your accreditation. So unfortunately, I didn't get to experience that, but I was hoping that he would have won. But silver is also a very great achievement.
yeah, we were all so proud of it. Yeah. Yeah, so Tanya, right? You see, you experience yourself being an athlete, right? And then by volunteering in something that you are not familiar about, and you have to prepare your mind physically as well. You know, you have to put sunblock and everything because you'll go under the sun. Am I right? To protect your
Mhm.
pretty face like now as well. Yeah, so it is very challenging. And so what makes you actually um put this like just want to go for this challenge? Like there's like, you know, a lot of us drivers like thinking of all the negative side of volunteering, and then after that they will just put a break there and says that no, I think I'll prefer to just, you know, go for my convocation. And just what is just one thing that makes you want to put this forward?
Like I mentioned earlier, I would like to give back to the community, the sports community.
So the main thing is to
Mhm.
really give back. Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, so really interesting, very, very inspiring story on volunteering in sports, and also how we actually relate, like as a former athlete, we put our values in and make this decision, and it became a very, very memorable experience. So Tanya, you know, like for yourself, you have actually experienced in different leadership roles in recognized international organization like BWF, Badminton World Federation, IOC, International Olympic Committee. And as an athlete before, I remember like there's always this dilemma of whether sports over career or sports over academic. You know, like parents are worried, and also as an athlete, we are worried. What is our future after athlete? So you have really made all of us proud. You know, like you built a name in the the biggest sports organization across the world, and you are like our pride of Malaysia. So actually, how was the transition like? I think this is a very good tip for athletes, youth athletes, or even parents that who are on with us now. Yeah.
Actually, leading up from after Beijing Olympics, one of my greatest regrets when I was there in Beijing was because I did not learn enough Chinese to interact with the locals. I did not write enough, and I could not really communicate with them as such. So from there, these regrets, I've learned from the Beijing regrets. So while I was volunteering in Beijing, I already know that I will be pursuing my master's in Switzerland, in
Mm,
Lausanne, the French-speaking area. So I took up some French courses because I know language is vital when you are living abroad. And from that, I actually opened up a lot of possibilities. You mentioned about IOC, BWF, and where it has brought me just by volunteering. I would say it's a lot of hard work and determination, but all this would not have been possible without my guardian angels. So I like to use the phrase guardian angels. I just named five of them. Dr. Jack Ho for introducing sports science to me, Guan Yan for telling me about the volunteering opportunity, Linio, who is my high school schoolmate, my badminton partner, and also my uh, classmate in Switzerland. And then we have Mario, my classmate from Switzerland. He was the one who told me about the Badminton World Federation office in Lausanne, and we got connected. And during the interview with the IOC, I remember that they gave me a call, but I didn't answer. So, to cut the long story short, after I found that I've been selected for the interview, I really brushed up a lot of my French. I remember doing the interview with Madam Maria Niki. There were three parts of the interview. The first interview was with the Human Resource Department where Maria Niki was the one responsible for it at that time. And then also a written exam, the second part. And then the third part was to have an interview with my future colleagues. So I remember that day very clearly. She asked me, Tanya, do you want to have the interview in English or French? So I
oh,
told her, yeah, let's do it in French. Let's try it in French. And if it doesn't work, we move to English. So I have never thought that I could manage my first interview in Switzerland in French. Thanks also
wow,
to my classmates for allowing me to practice French with them.
wow.
So yeah, and then after that, the rest was history. And I was told that there were around 200 applicants to the position that I applied for. Mm.
Wow,
But
you
really,
are
thanks to my guardian
amazing. Yeah.
angels.
Yeah, by the way, you are really amazing. You can speak French and you can go for interview in French. That's amazing, Tanya. You really pick up languages quickly, and you are very daring, I should say. Yeah, so and I think your transition part, it wasn't easy. Like you use the skills that you have as an athlete, which is persistence, having the
Mhm,
resilience, and then you persist and until you succeed, right?
mhm,
That's what actually have in you. I can see it, and then I can
mhm,
really feel for you, and I'm really happy for you and really thankful that you brought the name of Malaysia to the world, not as an athlete, but in the sports administration and as a sports manager. So well done.
Um, I'm really humbled with your words, Stephanie. Mm, of course, we always like to remember the good parts of the journey. Since it's the first time I'm doing this publicly, I can share a bit of the not so amazing times of this journey. So actually, I was jobless for 4 years.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
So it took me 4 years to actually found a job, and I have to thank Gregory Reporton. He was then the president of Badminton Europe, who gave me the opportunity and supported me in asking if I would like to join the confederation. So with a glimpse of an eye, February next year is the 6th year I'm with the confederation. I really thank him for that, and I hope that I'm still making him proud and also developing badminton in our continent. But besides that, I need to give a shout out really to my husband, Brian. I hope he's watching. Um, and I just had a short message for him. I'll do it in Danish. Skat, hvis du siger med, vi er rigtig gerne siger, at tusind tak for alt det, du gjorde for mig og pigerne. Og jeg elsker dig, og jeg lover, at jeg laver mere nasi lemak, nasi goreng og laksa til dig. It's a bit emotional. Let me just quickly translate what I told my husband.
Yes,
said,
please.
I thank him for what he's doing for me and our girls. Thank him for his support and guidance to this Malaysian who decided to stay 10,000 kilometers away from her family to start afresh. So I really am appreciative of his effort, and I also promised him that I will make more nasi goreng, nasi lemak, and laksa for him.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice that he enjoys Malaysian food as well. Yeah, you must have done a good. You must be a good chef. Wow, Tanya is multi-talented. She has so many undiscovered skills. She can speak Danish, she can speak French, and of course our three Malaysian language, English, Malay, and Mandarin. Yeah, so I think being an athlete taught us not to give up, and as long as I think the sir that gave you the opportunity, he seen that you are very sincere and you must have done something that he sees the true you in you. That's why he gave you the opportunity. So for all the athletes out there, the transition part might be difficult, but then I believe that with our sporting values that we have built since young, our persistence, our resilience, our hard work kind of attitude and never give up kind of attitude, it will bring us far in life. So we should always stay positive and keep trying. Like Tanya story can really inspire me already. 4 years, she was really, I can understand her feeling during that 4 years must be really, really disappointing and lost, kind of lost, right, Tanya? Yeah. And
I have a short message to students or elite athletes who will at one point go through transition or are going through transition from elite sports back to normal life. I really emphasize that education is key. We really need to be equipped with education so that we have something to fall back. I remember having this discussion with my parents. I actually gave up a full scholarship from University Technology Petronas in Toronto, and I told them I would like to join the national team. Studies can wait. So I did that because I want to give it a try. But then at the end of the day, my parents they actually encouraged me to, you can do this, but please continue with your studies and finish your Form 5, get a degree, live like a normal student life. So I promised them that 2 years in BAM, no studies, nothing. And then after that, when age was catching up and results were deteriorating, we we talked about it, and I said, okay, that I need to put a stop to this. So I applied for sports science, thanks to Dr. Jack Ho who told me about it, and then got selected for this degree, which I totally enjoyed.
yes, I guess decision making is again a very, very difficult thing to do, right? And thank you for being so open and share with us your journey in life so that we all can learn from it, especially for the young athletes out there, which is very undecisive. And Tanya, we have one question from Sila. Sila is actually one of our core team in Malaysian Olympism in Action Committee. So she said she has a question on what will be the one thing that will make more people to involve in volunteerism, and why do you think youngsters are not so much interested in volunteerism? Tanya, is it true that last time, right, 15 years back, technology is not so high and then we are so broad and you don't sleep, you don't like to sleep, so that's why you just volunteer?
Actually, 15 years back, with not so much technology, it actually helped me to decide that I wanted to volunteer because I did not have the most high tech phone. Internet was not that fast, so it's actually in a way that it helped me take up volunteering. To answer Kak Sheila's question, um, how to involve volunteerism, I think it starts always from ourselves. I've read one quote recently. It's by Austin Kleon. He said that we should stop looking at what others can do for us, but instead start looking at what we can do for others. So I think it starts from ourselves. If the inner motivation is not there, I think it's very difficult to encourage that person to take up volunteerism. So that's my 2 cents. Start from ourselves and inner motivation, and of course, try to encourage people around us, our friends, our network, our family members. And for her second question, why is it that youngsters are not that interested? Actually, I'm also considered young, Kak Sheila.
Yes, still young mom.
Yeah. No, I think the reason is because they don't have a role model. It's the same. If you see your mom volunteering, you will indirectly also will be more prone to volunteering, or also because volunteering is not that much exposed in the community. And in this fast moving life, most people think of time is money. Why should I volunteer when I can use my time somewhere else that is more beneficial for me? So I remember this about the being a volunteer, we need to be sincere. If you have expectation macam ada udang di sebalik batu,
Yes.
I think it doesn't work. We need to be sincere, but give it a try, and if it works, it works. If it's not organization A, try organization B. If it's not organization B, maybe try it from within the family, within your daily life.
This is a very nice comment from Irene. Irene is the mom of our first Malaysian Olympian figure skater, Julian Lee. So she said that volunteering for the right reason builds humility and character. Yeah. So ask what you can do for others. That's truly volunteering is really something from heart, something from within. But all we can do, which is why we and our core team and everyone here in this community, Malaysian Olympism in Action, we are having this series during this difficult time, so that we can inspire people to pick up the sports values and also devote themselves into volunteering in any sort of volunteerism is fine, whether it's local or it's international or right, anything, right?
Mm,
Yes.
as much as I would like to volunteer in a different organization, being in a young family with our girls, the possibility is not there. We don't have that much time because in Denmark it's not so common to have nannies or housekeepers. Even if we have, it's really costly. So Brian and I, we encourage ourselves to do more, but within the capability of the family. Um, so instead of volunteering in some organization or in some events, I'm taking volunteerism into life. For instance, to ask our neighbors if we could help pick up their kids, to ask if I could make a few meals for them when I can see that they are quite busy. So in this case, the volunteering differ a bit, but it is still volunteering.
Yes. And in other words, like volunteering, it is also like spreading kindness and love. That's why, like just now, what Irene said is character building, and you actually train. And with these skills, we all actually make the world a better place to live in. Yes. So so Tanya, you were a former participant of NOA and also a former moderator. I was also. So we were fortunate that we had the education on, the values of Olympism, the three core values: excellence, friendship, yeah, and respect. So how do you actually embrace these values in your life, like especially now?
Actually, I'm quite lucky that I have two guinea pigs that I can try with. So I try to instill Olympism and those values that you mentioned to our girls, and try to mention to them that taking part in a sporting competition or playing board games, winning is not everything. It is a bit difficult to explain to her because both Brian and I, we are very competitive people. I have to admit that we love to win. So I just give a very quick example with Tia, our first daughter. She was 8 years old when she participated in her first swimming competition. So she actually did way beyond our expectations, and we received the results from the coach. And but I spoke to Brian. I said I don't think we should let her know about her time. Just let her know she did really well, and then move on. So she went to her swimming training, and the coach was telling all the swimmers their time, and the coach was actually very surprised. She said, Tia, didn't your parents tell you about your time, about your achievement? Then Tia was like, no, that did not. So she came home and she asked me, Mom, why didn't you tell me about my time? How did I do, and etc. I was explaining to her, I said, there's a reason for that, Tia, because we would like you to focus on the process of participating, and the process of enjoying the place, the teammates, and the environment of the swimming competition, and not focusing on the end results of the results because of the time. Because for me, as an 8-year-old, even now as a 9-year-old, I think it's way too early to instill this competitiveness in her. If it comes from her, fine, we support. But if it doesn't come from her, I think participation is still key, and enjoying the process is still way more important than standing on the top of the podium.
Yes, just like what the father of Olympic always remind us, that the importance of taking part and not in winning. So we actually learn through the process towards this journey. Yeah, so it's just beautiful how you actually apply all these values to your own daughters. They will be a very successful individual in the future from the values that you actually input them. Yeah, so our friends out there, actually the reason why we have this series is to share about the values of Olympism and the importance of it, and how we actually make it the way of life. So like how Tanya is actually training her kids and teaching her kids and guiding her kids. So these values of celebrate the joy of effort, as in every time, everything we do, we give our best. Whatever the outcome of it, we won't actually matters, but the most important thing is giving our best. So as a sporting journey, also the same thing. Yes. So Tanya, it's almost 45 minutes. We have a question here from Charanjit, and he asked, do you agree that people volunteer for the love of it and not for the rewards?
I fully agree with that, Charanjit, that volunteering needs to come from within. And if you are expecting a lot of returns before you do something, many a times it might not happen that way. For me, I'm very blessed and lucky to have those guardian angels and also people helping me along my journey, that I did it from my heart. I volunteer with my heart because I wanted to do it without expecting anything in return. And and then it actually brought quite well in return for my life. So yes, totally agree with Charanjit that I think it should be because of love.
Very sweet. I'm so moved by your big heart of gold you have there. So Tanya, do you have any message for everyone out there who wants to pursue volunteering?
Mm, Like I mentioned earlier, it's actually not a message, but it's the quote that I mentioned previously, that we need to start thinking of what we can do for others, our neighbors, our relatives, our friends, and also the organization that is close to your heart. And then give it a try. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's after a few years, maybe it's something that will be of your interest. So there's no harm in trying, and it's also okay to say that no, volunteerism is not me, but please give it a try. And I really, really recommend all of the viewers and everyone who has the time and opportunity to do it to volunteer.
Thank you. That's a very good message for everyone, for all our international and local viewers. Tanya, you were more than 10 years abroad, right? So I'm just wondering, I'm testing you. How's your Bahasa Malaysia? Do you still remember? Or, or
I actually miss speaking Malay. I really miss speaking Malay and speaking Manglish, but I would really like to speak in Malay with you now, but because of some of our viewers who are from Europe, maybe we can do it offline. But but just to show that I'm still fluent in Malay, I would like to wish all the viewers, kepada anda semua yang tengah menonton di Malaysia sekarang, dan kepada anda semua yang tengah berpuasa, selamat berbuka. Dan hujung bulan nanti, saya ingin mengucapkan salam Aidilfitri kepada anda semua dan maaf zahir dan batin. So do you think my Malay is still okay?
wow. Penguasaan bahasa Malaysia Cik Tanya masih hebat dan menawan seluruh Malaysia dan juga dunia. Thank you, Tanya. Terima kasih for being with us today. And your story is really, really inspiring. And you guys, you see, Malaysia is always in our heart. Wherever we are across the world, Malaysia is always with us. Kami anak Malaysia.
Thank you for having me, Daphne.
Yep. Thank you. All right, so everyone, just a little bit of a review from what today's story is about. Tanya's story is very, very inspiring, and we can see that volunteering is truly character building, and it is also a very gratifying and satisfying experience. So for Tanya, volunteering in Olympic Beijing 2008, it is like a once in a lifetime experience. So we hope that Tanya's story will inspire you into volunteerism. And also what builds Tanya today was she lived with the 3 core values of Olympism, which is respect, excellence, and friendship. So for those who would like to know more about our next episode, please like our page, Malaysian Olympism in Action Community. And also we will keep you posted. Our next series is on Tuesday, featuring the topic will be the coach. So thank you so much for joining us today. We are really happy that you tune in. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you. Terima kasih. Nandri Vanakkam. Bye.